Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hook Empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I have morning voice. I haven't talked a lot, so I haven't opened up my voice. It's still date from my slate. Excuse me. Let's work towards clarity. Let's open up that throat chakra, the third chakra. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're vibing high today. I had to call in, summons all my guides. All my guides, angels, whatnot. Whatever wants to come hang out while I do the research that I was doing this morning, man. It got dark. That's why I got my extra lights on. I do that when I go deep in the darkness. I just be sure to... Some people surround themselves with the white light. Well, I don't know. White is the absence of all color. Really. It's the absence of color. So, I don't know. I just like color, and I like living in a light bright. It just keeps the ooga boogas away. Whatever the no vibrational beings. Because dark things, no vibrational beings, they don't like bright light, love. They don't like jovial, fun, They want to stifle that and kill it. And I put a link in the description box labeled gross, because that's what it is. I shared it because all this creepy stuff, with the Q-berts, the QAnon, the QBs, where we go when we go all, we are all connected, People don't want the nasty, seedy stuff in the world. And I was reading a paper, it's about 49 pages, written in 1993. Like I said, I put the link in the description box. Got a couple of screen grabs of it. It was written back. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. Maybe I should just put it up. Still works. It's so weird. It was written... The Lucy Fairy. We'll call it the Lucy Fairy Cult Awareness. Presented by... Is it going to grab it? Can I get it with the lighting? I can't get it. Presented by Galen W. Hurst, PhD, and Robert L. Marsh. January 27th, 1993 is the year after my graduation. Accusations. See, I'm an esoteric reporter, see? And I go deep down the ant holes, rabbit holes, whatever. I go deep. So, I don't like reading on videos. I'm not much of a reader. I would rather spend other time doing it. This stuff is important. And this is what people are starting to figure out now. So maybe I'll just summarize. Maybe it's not as important as it was when I got this screen grab. It is imperative these cases be solved. They are vicious, revolting, and create fear in any community. Men are apprehensive for their safety of their wives, mothers, daughters, women for their children and themselves. These situations make for sensational newspaper headlines. If only the newspapers reported them. They don't report them, see, because they're all in cahoots, see. These situations make for sensational newspaper headlines, as in infamous cases of Henry Lee Lucas and Otis Elwood Toole, who claimed to have slain approximately 360 people during the travels around the country between 1975 and 1983. Henry Lucas stated that in April 22, 1984, Fort Worth, Texas Star-Telegram news article, there are hundreds more like him on the road. I've just talked about this recently, of where they put themselves and the paradigms in which they place themselves. Truck drivers, traveling salesmen, traveling salesmen, You know, the marketers, the hub, you know, all those that like to conference and congregate in Vegas, or used to, you know. Big sports, pro sports, college World Series, huge proponent, huge. Those old boys, you know, old boys like their trophies. They like their trophies. Um, There are hundreds more like him on the road, probably thousands. You know, this is 20 years ago. Hell, maybe millions. There's billions of people. Heck, there's more of these people than people dying of the Rona. That's for sure. But they don't talk about that. They just keep talking about the Rona. But they're starting to talk about it because people were outside Buckingham Palace, freaking screaming, Geppetto, 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 and old girl's gone. I like that I like recommendations when people give me recommendations, and someone gave me a recommendation of a tarot card reader, and I listened to her talk on things, and she's like, oh, old boy's already left the earth plane, you know, King Philip or whatever, he's already gone. He's licking the lizard, the big lizard in the sky. And old girl ain't going back to Buckingham. And all the news, all the media is saying it's because of freaking the Rona. It's not safe. It's not healthy for her. But the reality of the situation is the truth, that they're all creepy pervertins, and everybody's figuring it out because everybody's staying home and everybody's connecting the dots, and people like me are helping connect the dots when people are having deficits. So I'll show you where to look. This stuff just falls in my lap. I don't even look for this stuff. It just comes to me. I don't even want to, you know, I thought I was going to live this 3D life, go to college, you know, get a good job, you know, take care of mom, you know, but things went out of order weird, so now things are different. Anyway, there are hundreds more. Okay, I belong to a cult, said Lucas stated. It was a devil's organization. For initiation, you would have to go out and kill a person, as reports unfolded from Texas Rangers files and disclosed some of the most sadistic, brutal, and bizarre accounts of deviant sexual murders in modern history. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet, see? You ain't seen nothing yet. That's what 2020 is all about, the year of clear vision, and people are gonna freaking lose their minds because they're not gonna believe the crap that comes out. And this is the stuff, dude, I was one of these babies that they talk about. I was one of these babies. They like to have sex with babies and kids. I was one of them. I just didn't go down the deviant path. I just went down the path to expose these people for who and what they are, and I've been collecting data 46 years now. I ain't 100%, ain't nobody is. We're just spirits having a human experience. The reality of the situation is darkness knows light, and they know I am bright as light. So, I'm an authority magnet. They like to pick on me and put me in, you know, handcuffs and stuff like that. Unjustifiably, you know, and then they tell you it's for your own good and all this stuff. So let's just go on. Abnormal sex offenses involving cult worshippers are not always recognized. The accepted elements of normal sex offenses may not even be remotely present. The basic ingredients may be fire, slashing, beating, and stabbing. Wasn't that poker player just found burnt alive? That had a private, she had a really private. See, that's why you got to know about your friends, man. You got to want to know about what they're doing, what they're going down the wrong or right path. You got to get them back on the right path, because some of this stuff, I mean, it actually sounds, I mean, that's no wonder. See, the thing of it is, I almost feel almost irresponsible for talking about it, because it helps for recruitment too. See, these times when people are all crazy and stuff, this is great for satanic recruitment. Come on over, you know. But the thing of it is Earth is ascending and people are ascending, but they can't. Light's gonna win, you know, because you don't get to do kids, and you don't get to eat people, and you don't get to hack up people of any age. You don't get to hack up any animal to do your gross, twisted freaking, because you don't know how to find love in yourself, and that essence, that purity, that wholesomeness. That's what they'd like to take from other people, is all that goodness, you know. And then it turns people dark, and it makes them mad, and then it turns off their sex parts, and then they can't, you know, have, you know, normal, like, you know, because they think they're broken and stuff. But the thing of it is they're not, and all that creepy stuff ain't the way to intimacy. And the world is moving into a very intimate place. In intimate places, you don't need sex. Sex isn't involved in intimacy. Sex is a mother nursing a child. I mean, intimacy, God, that was bad. Intimacy is a mother breastfeeding her baby under a tree, talking about, whatever you want in this world, let's hope we can get you to where you want to achieve your goals, whatever you think you want to be, let's get you there, and, you will be protected, and all this, and all this stuff, but all this satanic stuff created the world that we live in now, and to take all that essence, and now love is taking it back. So, exactly how is a destructive religious cult? See, it's DRC. Stop saying SCR. It's DRC. Let's get it right. Destructive religious cult. DRC. That's what we're looking for. What just happened? The what C? The DNC? Oh man, oh how the mighty are gonna fall. It's just gonna be crazy. A DNC is any group which uses psychological manipulation, 1, to impair, destroy, or make captive an individual's freedom of thought or reasoning abilities. This is done with the hidden purpose of promoting the wealth or power of vanity or charismatic cult leaders. Look at the mega churches coming down. Old boy from Liberty. Dude, his wife, thank you for I can't remember your talk this morning. I showed it to my mom. I'm like, look, Mom, this dude, they're so creepy and incessant and so perverted. This guy, they tell everybody, oh, give us all your, praise Jesus, praise God, give us your money to save your soul, all this stuff. So much that they have houses all over. They got yachts, People living in the streets, crack society getting wider and wider. I haven't had running water in 3 years, but that's cool because, give all your money to the mega churches and then they can, show you who they really are. Because when people's egos get that big, they don't care. They'll freaking straight up they'll show you their ass, they'll look at it, they'll shake it around and go, isn't it gross? Isn't it gross? Aren't you disgusted? That's what egomaniacal do. They're freaking disgusting, man. And you got all these pickle brain minded people that have been doing this shit for 40, 50, 60 years that have drinking so much alcohol, their freaking minds are pickled. So they're going to start doing stuff out in public. They think they're in private. They're going to start saying things out loud, and they thought they said it in their heads and just, oh my goodness. But this is a pretty good paper. Go read it yourself. They got all kinds of cult techniques of psychological manipulation. I mean, they got, oh, this is the last one I'm gonna read. This is why I think it makes it so enticing for people. Because people are like, dude, it's just too hard to freaking do the right thing. And who wants to freaking, take care of their parents when they get old? Nobody wants to do that. Just put them in a home and let somebody else deal with it, Just like people put their kids in school and let somebody else deal with your kids, You don't discipline them at home and then they're freaking, every day they went to school because, that these are all things that are changing, and then they run amok because they aren't disciplined at home, and so these poor teachers, get paid shit to freaking basically herd cats all day, Some of the control freak disciplinarians, they can help out, but there aren't enough of those. Anyway, the ethical stance of the Church of Satan is summarized in the 9 statements. Number 1, Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Well, let's see, I haven't even been on a date in 4 years. I used to watch porn. Not so much anymore. I do every now and again just to see because I use it as like forensics. Like people on their Instagram, all these rich people in forensics, I look for like the same hotels in that, because I think there's a lot of sex trafficking, and then they upload their videos and oh yeah, but it ain't consensual. I think most of that stuff on there, it ain't consensual, so I look at it as a forensic. That stuff don't get my goat. That's, for lack of a better term, that's not that. It's just ugh. It's like Dropbox. It's like No. I think when two people really like each other, that all they need is the pleasure of the company of those two people, and they really, if you need too many outside things to make that better, then you're not with the right vibrational frequency. You're not with your right match. You went with your same frequency. Freak. Anyway, number 2, Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. 3, Satan represents, this is according to these people that connected this data. This isn't life all being, this is just how these people perceive it. I don't believe anything's 100% true or false. You just got to take everything with a grain of salt and then throw the rest over your shoulder. I mean, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. It's not. I just know that you don't hurt people and harm people for gross freaking chasing sensation, pervy advantage. Satan represents unfulfilled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. 4, Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. That helps me want to modify my behavior in a lot of ways. That's the one that I was like, oh, I gotta change my thinking on some stuff. I got some stinking thinking in some areas I wasn't quite aware of, but thank you for making light of that. In darkness, there's light. 5, Satan represents vengeance instead of turn the other cheek. I'm trying to turn the other cheek every day. Turn the other cheek. Every day, turn the other cheek. I'm trying to be a turn the other cheeker. Satan represents responsibility for responsible instead of concern for for psychic vampires. They call us psychic vampires. I always am worried about those people that say psychic. Everybody is energetic, sensitive. People do things because it raises their vibration. You're drawing on the energy of something, whether it's a movie or a TV show or a lover or a friend or a parent. It's a kind, loving, it's raising your vibrational frequency. So when you have around people that just always make you feel bad and just always down here and just always talk about their problems and and more than just a way that they're trying to relate to you, and it's just suck, and they never add. That they're talking about themselves. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who because of his divine and intellectual development has become most vicious animal of all. See, and I believe that we are spirits first, and that this is our soul sac second. And so, interesting. The plot thickens. Satan represents all of the so-called sins as they lead to physical, mental, and emotional gratification. I call it chasing sensations. Yeah. They're less gratifying in the high vibrations. That's what people are finding out. Everybody's going back to their heart space. Everybody's going back to playground rules, school ground rules, before all the nonsense, because freaking business got so crazy. People, and the world ain't that big, and just people's egos got out of control. Satan, and the last one, Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as it has kept it in business all these years. That one kind of made my skin crawl. That was the last little tidbit. All those things that make your skin crawl. Makes you wonder about the person that's that's saying them and stuff. People really gotta listen to their intuition and whatnot. The recruitment of members. I think I'm almost done. And then they have, just go read the paper yourselves. They have important dates. Here's a bunch of important dates. So pay attention to the famous people and the movies that they've done, that have been in alignment with these principles. And are they active? Are they going to big parties that day? Are there big Hollywood parties on those days? I mean, go back and look in the archives, these dates. February 2nd, candle, whatever. It's the festival of the Blessed Virgin Mary. In other religion, it's the celebration, the presentation of Jesus. I'll just go read it. I'm done. I'm done reading. almost. I was going to read the The Church of Satan stands as a gathering point for all those who believe in what the Christian Church opposes, and members are generally hostile to its teaching and resultant behavior patterns to lesser extent. The same position holds for the Eastern religion. Recruitment of members, the Church does not proselytize but welcomes inquiries from honest potential Satanists who hear about the church from the various books about it, the mass media, or word of mouth. New members must go through a screening process before they are accepted. That's why I don't, like talking about it too much but people need to be aware that it exists, and more people do because they're crowding around Buckingham Palace and stuff like that, and the people are there's only so much data and information in the world. There's only so much storylines that the human beings have been able to perceive up until this point. Okay? And because everybody's so busy just trying to work for their own family, it's just like you got to take care. And people have done that so much to the point that they have just totally forgot that they got a spirit. So they got caught up in the grind and the whatnot, and all this, these imposed ideologies that these control freaks have placed and said, okay, this is, everybody born on this planet, but depending on where you live and the color of your skin, this is probably how your life is going to go. If this happens to you, you're going to end up a sexual deviant. That's what it says in the paper later. Usually most people that these things happen to, people just don't end up okay. And I'm here to say that I think a lot of people do end up okay because the percentage of the population in the world of people that have had terrible atrocities happen to them by the hands of people they know and by the hands of people they don't. I mean, it's everywhere. It's just we're finding out of all the... If people let this stuff happen in their organizations, it's everywhere. It's religion, it's governments, it's the Pervingtons are being sought out for who and what they are, and channels like Keegan and Don't Drink the Kool-Aid and all these other astrologers, that give me all the data and information to tell me, this is how the potential, the energy of how things can go. What's happening in Portland and LA, it's all these encapsulated, these bubbles of energy where people, these frequency, these pockets of people have like made these basic soup of their spirit energy, and more than 51% have lived in ego, so everything got a hand. That's why there's always people disappearing. Why do you think they made Halloween? Dude, make it easier to grab your kids off the street, man. Yeah, get out of here, kids. Go collect candy. How many people, that's how it was when I was a kid. Things got a lot tighter. Now everybody's just so afraid of everything. You just walk around, hide behind a mask, and, it's the people are starting to figure out that's nonsense too. They're just starting to listen to their guts and their guts, their minds, and their hearts are all lining up and becoming congruent, and all these things are saying when somebody talks or they hear something, they're like, no, that ain't true. Everything in my being knows that whatever this person is saying to me right now is complete bullshit. That's why I just try to be as accurate as I possibly can, and lying don't do me no good. I'm a terrible liar. I suck at lying. I suck. Not good at it. I'll every now and again I'll try it, and then it always bites me in the ass, and I'm just like, I don't know why I bother, But these are my life lessons too. I'm here to learn life lessons too. The big meeting in the sky got a recipient yesterday. Yesterday was Artie Pants, my 11-year-old dog. He turned 11 yesterday. Artie Pants is my oldest boy. He has the same brother as his birthday as his uncle, and it's so funny how close their temperament is. It's like living with my brother, So I get to love on him and stuff like that, and I know how he is, and I try not to raise my voice because he's so skittish and stuff like that, and I got to be careful with him around food and the other dogs because he gets food aggression, so he has to eat his snacks away. And if he can start feeling entitled and that he needs, hey, I didn't get a big as bite as Indy. He's my boy, love him. Anyway, um, Clancy I went to the Eisman. He ran he started a group, Pacific group, down in Southern California for people just to recognize they don't got to live the ways they used to live in the shadows. If they want to come to the light, you know, there's always room. You just got to make right the clean up the wreckage from your past. So if you've done some nasty squirrely stuff, you know, you ain't gonna come to the light and get out of it. You're gonna have to repent for that, you know. So, but if you come to the light and stop living those ways, you know, maybe your next incarnate will probably be a little bit easier on you, a little bit softer, you know, because you learn some less hard lessons in this one, you know. So I got to see him speak a couple times, few times. Got a couple good pictures of him. It's all about capturing the moment, man, because we're only here for a blip, you know. And I don't got much of a legacy. This is it. My channel, my tube, and how I treat people on the earth, on the world. That's how people are going to remember me by. You know, am I going to be that decent person? Am I going to be that person that when I'm gone, people are going to say, she lit up the room? Or am I going to be that person that they're going to say, God, she sucked. She just was angry. She was just a dick, you know? So I got to make choices every day to build up until the end of my dash. He was 61 years sober, and his sober date was October 17th, 1953 or 57. I don't know. I don't think the 11th tradition really is even a true. I'm waiting for him to remove that as far as, because now everybody's got to do it on the level of press, radio, and films to stay connected, because not a lot of people in a lot of places connect in real life, and that's what people need to do. People need those hugs. People need those heart-touching hearts, as Peg Martin's talked about. Those heart connections, you know, you got to put your heart on a person's heart and let those beat. People don't like doing that. It's scary. They're like, oh, what's that? It's another person's heartbeat. You have one too. You know, caring about people and loving on people, it should just be wholesome and kind and loving, and there's nothing pervy about it. So many people have sexualized it. Everybody's over-sexualized. I'm over-sexual. I mean, there's stuff I don't need to see the idea. You know, I got imagination. I don't need to see what. And these people have families at home and stuff, and you might be acting out stuff, but just leave some stuff to the imagination. It's bad karma. It's not bad karma, it's less than good karma. How's that? So, his sober date was October 17th, and that was actually the day my Arthur Boo Radley went on to heaven back in 2008. And then I didn't have a dog for a year. 8 to 9, 2009. It's all getting kind of fuzzy. That's why I do these videos, because one day I don't know if I'm gonna remember it all. But I got records. I'm getting better at keeping records too, keeping track of stuff. And he went to heaven on October 17th. That's how, you know, synchronicities. That's how I know when I'm in alignment with people. You know. Clancy he also started a mission, the midnight mission down there on Skid Row in Los Angeles. You know, there's too many people that need help, and there's so many people that can, but just haven't, because they haven't felt like it, because they just don't know how to live within their means, man. I live on like freaking. I live on more than because me and Mom are roommates, you know. If it was just Mom by herself, she'd definitely be in the street. If it was by myself, I don't know where I'd be. But if Mom was, because she don't know how to do all the stuff. She don't know how to pay rent. She don't know how to turn the Netflix on and give it navigate. And there's so many elders. You know, that's why I'm trying to get back to my community, because so many people, you know, a lot of these people can do stuff on their own. They just need a little extra care, So you start putting some of these people, these work at home people in with the elders, and and then have them drop over, There's just so many ways that community. I see it coming together. I see it. I see it. It's right there. It's just going to be a real rocky road the next few months. It's just going to be real crazy for the people that just have never seen crazy stuff. For people like me, ah, oh, what are you scared about? It's just like, what's that? Oh, let me get some coffee. But they're blowing up streets down in the city, stuff like that. Oh, that's all right. Okay, don't go down there. Don't go to where the trouble is. Turn the other cheek. It's all the people that whatnot. You're gonna get wrapped up in situations you don't want to get wrapped up in if you don't, people don't start getting careful about stuff. Gladys McCoy. That's the talk I was listening to from the Ozark Research Institute. Dolores Cannon was interviewing her on her talk. I'm gonna go ahead and close. I'm done with my satanic cult awareness stuff. And then I was looking up because they had words like skyclad, so I went down the ant hole. There's a band that it's a they have people that demographics of people that they target. Skyclad. It's a heavy metal band. Heavy folk instance, but that's like skyclad is a term that is definedly used in that stuff, and it's just like but at the same time, I know a lot of people that love heavy metal. See, that's the thing. Is I know people that are into this stuff. And I don't have the heart space to be, because there's so many other positive attributes, and to my knowledge, there's a difference. Because I grew up in the 70s, ain't nobody going after Ozzy Osbourne. He straight up bit a freaking head off a bat, and for a show, he didn't eat the bat's head. He just bit it off, and I bet he'd probably feel bad about it later at some point if he's any kind of spiritual being, because he ended up having kids. Sometimes people go more into that or less, but the fact remains is it is prevalent in the world today. Evil lives and exists in the world. It's everywhere. It's all over the place. It's cowardice. That's why it grabs and it takes and it waits for you to come to it. People are just starting to figure out, the rural areas, and all the police that, all the, what if all these government fences that are all blocked off, government official use only, that was, come on in, let's have our rituals over here, because it's all intertwined. There's bad guys in every organization, and then there's good guys in every bad organization, and all that stuff. That's what Virgo season is about the balance. It's coming into balance. Because there's been too much greed. And every year, as the calendar goes, or as you flip the calendar, it's the spiral of time. And whenever you flip the page of a calendar, time spirals, just goes on and on and on and on and on. It's like, people, are you living in the, we're coming up on the holiday season, the winter solstice. There's white witches too. I identify as a white witch, if anything, a witch of the light white, and I don't, that's the thing, is I don't like getting caught up with stuff like that, because people read things about things, and then based on their frame of reference, I say that word and they already have a perception. Oh, she's a witch. My plant medicine, cannabis, dandelions, flowers, fragrances, stuff like that, to make people feel better. I don't use my tools and what I know to seduce people or to try to get me, hey, people want to give me money, I panhandle on YouTube. I got no pride. I got no shame. I got a move. I take all donations. I'll straight up ask. I thought about making a clever sign and going down on the street corner. I thought I'd get more cash, but I just felt a little too hypocritical doing that. Anyway, things are working out. You know, I ain't really too worried because I got a faith. I got a power that I believe in that is outside of myself, that I meditate about an hour, hour and a half a day to plug into during the course of the day, regardless of how chaotic or, you know, the crazy shit that pops up during the day. Because it's that season. It's just like astro season. It's like you're gonna information, boom, God, boom, deal with it, boom, deal with it, handle it. How do I deal with this? Life is just gonna start throwing these puzzles at people, and people are gonna, if you've done the work, and if you have a daily discipline and a practice, and you know, a power greater than yourself and a belief system, God, you can be all right. But if you've been all one of those that have been, you know, taking all the nuts and squandering all the stuff for yourself and not sharing what you got, like all the mega churches and stuff like that, you know, you're disappointing a lot of people, because there's a lot of people. I mean, every time I watch, I mean, I've always watched them because I listen to what they say, and then I see all the seats, and I know all the properties they have, and I know all the, you know. It's like they have so much money. How is there so many? And there's so many of them. There's one in Reading, has a bad rap. You know, there's a few in Reading that have a bad rap. And if they just realize that what they're promoting is the spirit, and if they open their pocketbooks and stop charging things so much, then the community wouldn't look so unfavorably on them. But once the the economic reset is in the midst. It's already happening. So, you know, the astrology is lining up. People are coming into our heart. I used to be one angry mad motherfucker, and now I'm less. You know, and if I can decompress and less, you know, into my lower vibrational frequencies, and I believe that anybody can. Everybody has the spirit to change. You just have to have the willingness. And willingness isn't just, oh, I want to change, I want to be a better person. No, willingness is a two-parter. You have to be willing and then take action to show that you're willing. So, not pro. There's a whole lot of not pro going on right now. We're figuring out who the professionals are and who the no pros are. The no pros. Not pro, man. Not pro. Not pro. Like the REI exchange I had recently. At the shop. At the store. Not pro. No pro. Didn't talk about it before. When I called the customer service, the gal on the line, very pro. Very pro. So I would probably buy things, order things online REI, but never walk into a store. But that's all right, because everything's going online everywhere, because you're just paying for their overhead and to remodel and freaking recarpet and to move shelves around and to, you know, create more landfill, and people are becoming more spiritual beings and more holistic and natural. And they realize that, you know, as long as you got what you need, and you can go where you want to go with the freedoms to do it when you want to do it, and your loved ones are cared for, people don't want to hurt people and don't want to do those things on that list. So if you're curious, but I just thought it was kind of interesting. It came across my lap. I'm like, I've never heard anything. I mean, I've heard, see, all this DCR stuff, I known about it my whole life. I grew up in Reading. Everybody knew where Lost Lanes was. Everybody knew where and it was right below where the satanic, or the Masonic ritual was, right below Lost Lanes. Everybody knows where they go to do freaking their stuff. You know, and that was like that in the 80s. Or if there's still rumors about that, you know. Anyway, if you have any transgressions that you've done in your life, things that you just don't feel about, I would find a confidant, find someone you know that isn't going to turn there, and just get it off your chest. You know, write a letter to the person that you've done the transgression to. That's if they're done past, or if you've done something to somebody and it's just best that they don't ever hear. But write a letter and then like burn it, kind of thing. I mean, that's setting an intention that it's just like, you know what, I'm never gonna treat another person the way I treated that person, as a homage, as an amends to being a better person, because if I can't be a better person to people directly because they don't want me in their life, I can understand that and respect that, but I'm going to be a better person in the spirit of the relationship that we once had. That's about all I got for now. I hope you have a rad day. Peace. Oh, Benny. You say hi, Benny? It's how Margie Benny gonna yawn. Margie Benny flop. Been a tired Margie, been not in the mood. Margie, been not in the mood. Oh my god, I so live for them. I so live with them. Oh, off to the post office. Very cool. Going to the post office. I miss going to the post office. I just saw the playback. Oh my god.